evening, everyone. My name is Mark Keener. I have the privilege of being the athletic director here at South Fayette High School. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 3rd annual South Fayette Township Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Tonight we gather to honor, celebrate, and recognize the deep-rooted tradition, pride, and excellence that define our school district. We will forever cherish the extraordinary contributions of those who have impacted our school, community, and beyond. Now it's time to welcome the esteemed class of 2024 South Fayette Hall of Fame inductees to the stage. Please join me in giving them a warm round of applause to our class of 2024 Hall of Fame honorees. Tonight we are honored to have two of our very talented students here at South Fayette to perform the national anthem and the alma mater. So at this time, would you please rise for the national anthem and remain standing for the alma mater. The national anthem tonight will be performed by C.J. Inkenhouse, a senior here at South Fayette, and the alma mater by junior Mackenzie Concan.
Don't show it.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose hot stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts re-roared, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Can we sit down now?
South Fayette, may we be ever faithful to thee. May thy children all cherish thy name. For the good thou hast done, for each victory we've won, alma mater to
Thank you, CJ and McKenzie. Beautiful renditions. This evening, we also have the privilege of recognizing some outstanding leaders and supporters of South Fayette. We are incredibly grateful for everything you've done and continue to do to build the tradition, pride, and excellence that South Fayette embodies. We extend a tremendous thank you to our former and current board members, former and current administration, and previous Hall of Fame inductees that have joined us tonight. A big thank you goes out to Nicole Plow as well and her team for hosting a beautiful reception for our inductees and their families before tonight's ceremony. We also appreciate the support from Steve Timmons, Josh Wasserman, and our facilities and custodial departments and their assistance in setting up the event space. Special thanks to our student quartet, Alan Semko, Emma Monteleone, Cindy Pugliese, and Zoe Unruh for their wonderful performances during the reception. We'd also like to thank South Fayette graduate Josh Miltier for capturing all the photos for both tonight and tomorrow's events, and South Fayette graduate Ava Herbanik for filming the event this evening. Planning for this event was a collaborative effort, and we are fortunate to have a dedicated committee of talented individuals guiding the Hall of Fame process and celebrations. Committee members include Dr. Michelle Miller, Dr. Kristen Deichler, Mr. Brian Toney, Dr. Kevin Maurer, Dr. Natasha Durda, Mr. Mike Perrott, Miss Erin Carranza, Mr. Matt Bacco, and Mrs. Jennifer Donovan. I hope I haven't missed anyone, as we are always grateful for every contribution. As many of you know, South Fayette is a family, and we value the efforts of each individual involved in events like tonight. It's now my honor to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Michelle Miller, to continue the ceremony.
Thank you, Mark. And good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to welcome you and to congratulate our class of 2024 Hall of Fame inductees. As our Hall of Fame committee gathered to plan its third induction ceremony, we wanted to ensure that those honored tonight exemplify the long-standing commitment to the excellence in the arts, athletics, and academics. That is central to our district's mission. On behalf of our entire South Fayette Township School District, I extend my heartfelt thanks and congratulations to our 7 inductees, to their families and friends, colleagues, and everyone, including many of your former coaches and teachers who are here today to celebrate this exceptional class. It's important to acknowledge the incredible contributions to those who have been instrumental in the growth and progress of South Fayette. We sure have come a long way. This morning, I was listening to a podcast featuring one of our inductees, Anthony DiDonato, and the podcast was titled Brick by Brick. And I have to say, on my drive here to South Fayette, it really spoke to my heart, because I kept thinking about his words and brick by brick and how he has built a Grove City winning championship football program. And I really thought about that. He talked about the foundation and then each person laying that brick and contributing one brick at a time. And I thought how poignant that I'm listening to this today and then recognizing those who are part of the foundation of South Fayette. Truly, these 7 inductees have laid a foundation for all of us, brick by brick, not only with what their contributions may have been in their fields since they have left, but truly the contributions. You know, I heard earlier who was one of the friends in preschool, and people coming here to share how much that they meant to their children's lives while they were here in school. You don't know necessarily how far your reach is, but I have to say these 7 individuals, it's far, and it's amazing. So we have come a long way from our humble beginnings as a small single A district to most recently being identified as the District of the Decade for our region. And as current leaders, educators, and community members, we recognize the legacy upon which this is built, and that's visionary individuals. I often say that I stand and we stand on the shoulders of giants, And here are some examples of those giants that we appreciate so much. We are deeply grateful for the remarkable contributions of our inductees and that they made during their time here at South Fayette, as well as the extraordinary accomplishments that you will hear since they graduated. It is with immense pride that we join in celebrating these outstanding individuals tonight. To help us celebrate this special evening, we've invited Mark Snyder, a well-known Pittsburgh radio personality and resident of South Fayette, to serve as our Master of Ceremonies. You might be asking, who's Mark Snyder? You might know him as that iconic voice each morning as Bubba on 100.7 Star FM, or from his time on the PA system at our high school football games, or probably even coaching on the sidelines for our sports, especially baseball. Bubba, we are so grateful for your presence tonight, and truly the gift that he has in speaking and uplifting all of us. So please join me in giving a warm welcome as he takes the podium to officially begin our induction ceremony. Thank you.
How's everybody doing out there? You guys great? This is a very, very, very fun night. I want to thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's truly an honor to be here with you tonight, and I can feel the incredible lion pride. I moved into South Fayette about 20 years ago, and all 4 of my children are South Fayette graduates. And you would think, after all my kids graduated, my son just graduated from Seton Hall University, had a great baseball career, that I would leave the South Fayette community, not necessarily where I live, because I coached South Fayette High School baseball, showing the championship ring, 2018 Whitfield champions. But no, I continued because South Fayette is such a big part of my life and the community that we grew up, my kids were born and raised, that I continue to coach South Fayette High School baseball to this day, and I'll probably do it until somebody makes me leave, which hopefully isn't anytime soon. This evening we come together to honor the best of the best, the true VIPs of South Fayette. These are individuals who have excelled on the track, field, mat, in the classroom, and on the stage, leading, collaborating, learning, and growing into the remarkable people that they are today. Their time at South Fayette laid the foundation for the impressive achievements they've gone on to accomplish in their careers and the communities. Tonight's inductees represent a wide range of accomplishments and contributions, each one reflecting the unique spirit of this school district. I encourage you to take a moment to read through the program and discover the incredible achievements of these distinguished honorees. And it's now time for our first inductee, Mr. Christian Brumbaugh from the South Fayette class of 2011. By the time Christian Brumbaugh graduated from South Fayette High School in 2011, he was the WPIAL's all-time passing leader with 7,164 yards and 88 touchdowns. He set single-season Whitfield records with 3,726 passing yards and 52 touchdowns his senior year. That was just his senior year. Also setting a PIAA record with those 52 touchdowns. Once again, that was 52 touchdowns in 1 year. A 2-time All-Century Conference MVP and All-State selection. Christian led the Lions to back-to-back undefeated seasons, a WPIAL AA championship, and a PIAA state runner-up finish. He also helped the basketball team win its first PIAA state championship in 2009. Off the field, Christian excelled academically, earning numerous honors, and was active in his community. He went on to play quarterback at the College of William & Mary on a full scholarship, where he majored in finance and held leadership roles in campus organizations. Christian is now a vice president at Harris Williams, working in investment banking, and lives in Richmond, Virginia with his wife Amanda, a former lacrosse player at William & Mary, and their 2-year-old daughter Barrett. Congratulations, and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Christian Brumbaugh.
introduction. And thank you all. And first off, congratulations to everyone on this stage. It's an honor and privilege to share the stage with you all. To start, there's a few people that I want to thank that have made all of this possible. First off, the South Fayette administration and the entire community. I wouldn't be standing here if it wouldn't be for you all. Secondly, my parents, Randy and Maria, who are here tonight, for teaching me the values of hard work and always being supportive of me, no matter what I took on. My brothers, Luke and Brett, here with his wife Kate tonight, both of whom were my biggest fans, and also biggest critics, which is always helpful along the way. The rest of my family, my grandparents, who are not here tonight and not with us, but my grandparents, my Uncle Paul, who was right there with them, who would travel to every game, near or far, no matter what it was. My friends and teammates, Nick Ferracci, Josh Patterson, Patrick Zedrick, Michael Lamberti, and countless others, all of which helped shape my time at South Fayette and remain lifelong friends. My coaches, Coach Rossi, Coach Ferracci, the rest of the football coaching staff, Coach Benor, Coach Keener, and the basketball coaching staff, all have given so many valuable life lessons, not only to me, but to so many others, and have impacted our lives in such a positive way. And finally, the teachers of South Fayette, who instilled hard work, who taught us that there was more than beyond the athletic field, and was just a very important force in all of our lives. As I reflect on my journey at South Fayette, there are a handful of stories that come to mind. They all kind of center around the key themes of what South Fayette is, which is tradition, pride, and excellence. As far as tradition goes, I grew up no more than a mile from the school. I remember as a kid on Friday nights, sitting on my back porch, seeing the stadium lights, and thinking, wow, I can't wait to be there one day. I would walk up to games and meet friends and go watch the likes of Neil Lovick and watch him on the field and think, oh, this is really cool. Flash forward a couple years later, I was the ball boy for Andrew DiDonato and the South Fayette football team during his time at South Fayette in his high school years. It's no secret why those two are on the stage tonight, and I can't help but think of all the things I've learned along the way about the tradition of South Fayette, passing the baton from one generation to the next. And for me, it was passing that baton to my brother Brett, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Embodying the tradition of South Fayette is learning from those before you and making it better for those after you. It's a one-of-a-kind place where you leave better than you came. Pride can mean many things, but to me, what it means is one simple thing: doing things to the best of your abilities. As I moved through my high school careers, I can't help but think of a very specific moment that was a defining moment for myself, and I know many others. And it wasn't a Whitbeeler State Championship. It was a loss. When I was a sophomore, our football team had a losing season that was capped off by a loss to Cornell, a team that had not won a game all season. While those above us were already checked out for the season, there was a handful of us as sophomores, myself, Nick Ferracci, Jeff Davis, Tyler Challengeworth, Tanner Cortad, and many others who were affected deeply by the loss. And it showed. And I remember that feeling to this day, as I'm sure many others do. From that moment on, the pride we took in our work was unmatched. The next season, we were undefeated in the regular season, earned the #1 ranking in the AA playoffs. And the following season, when we were seniors, we won the Whitfield Championship and made it to the state finals. Excellence in my mind is an output of tradition and pride. With deep tradition and pride in our work, you can expect excellence. The success we had as a team was not by accident. I remember Josh Patterson staying with me after football practice to run extra routes to make sure our timing was perfect. I remember Coach Rossi meeting me at 5 a.m. in the gym during basketball season when I was busy with hoops to make sure I would get some extra strength workouts in. On the basketball court, it was Pat Zedrick and Mike Lamberti's commitment to making our team operate at the highest standard and hold ourselves accountable when things would go wrong. You don't win the first state basketball championship in the school's history without a commitment to excellence. On the academic side, Mrs. Sir, my high school math teacher, would hold study sessions at Chuck E. Cheese in preparation for AP Calculus exams. Where else are you going to find a bunch of high school kids studying together on a Friday night at a kid's arcade? You're not. It takes a special group of people to do that, and I couldn't be more proud to be part of that community. Everywhere you look in South Fayette, you'll find excellence because of the tradition and pride that the community embodies. Everything that South Fayette has taught me has guided and shaped the direction of my life. In football, it was focusing on the little things to make the big things happen and teaching you about mental toughness. In basketball, it was about the belief we had in ourselves and the ability to lean on each other in times of struggle. In academics, it can't be better summed up than, again, Mrs. Sirk's wisdom and the quote she always used to tell our class: opportunity begins when the struggle begins. The values and what I learned took me to William & Mary, where I met my wife, Amanda, a successful athlete herself. This helped shape my career and how I approach life, and my hope is I can instill these values in my daughter and future children. Equally as important are the relationships that I've made within the South Fayette community. They are lifelong friends, and I know they will continue to be so for many years to come. The people around you are what make life great, and to put it simply, South Fayette has some really great people. I cannot thank South Fayette enough for everything it has given me over the years, and I am humbled to be a part of this Hall of Fame class. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee is Mr. Nick Carr, class of 2011. Nick Carr is a standout athlete and scholar whose wrestling career has left a lasting impact. At South Fayette High School, he achieved a 128-17 record, winning 3 WPIAL Class AA titles and a PIAA Class AA state championship. He also placed second in the state as a senior and 5th as a sophomore, earning a number 10 national ranking among 145-pound wrestlers. Off the mat, Nick was the president of the Library Club and a member of the National Honor Society. Continuing his success in college, Nick went undefeated 27-0 in 2015 to win the NCAA Division III 157-pound championship, becoming Washington and Jefferson College's first wrestling national champion. He finished his college career with a 41-1 record, claimed 2 PAC titles, and was named a COSIDA Academic All-American. Nick is currently a project manager for NAI Byrne-Schouwer Real Estate and Construction Services, where he continues to demonstrate the dedication and excellence that marked his athletic career. Congratulations and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Nick Carr.
Good evening, everyone. I want to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to South Fayette for inducting me into the Hall of Fame. It's been an incredible honor to be here, and congratulations to everyone sharing the stage with me. You have all accomplished remarkable things. Public speaking has always been one of my greatest fears. I'm terrified right now. I vividly remember when it was a requirement in high school, and I dreaded every moment of it. My mother, being the wonderfully protective and loving person that she is, even called the school to try to get me out of it, and I didn't manage to escape. But that just shows the kind of support I had growing up. My mom always had my back. On the other hand, my father is the hardest working person I know. At age 65 today, his birthday was Sunday, he turned 65, he's still out there putting in 60 to 70 hours of work a week. His work ethic is something I've always admired, and one of the greatest gifts that he gave me was his unwavering belief in my abilities. No matter how talented another athlete was or how daunting the competition appeared, my father never once doubted me or my siblings. That confidence meant the world to us. His belief showed me that it's not just about talent, it's about perseverance and support. Knowing that someone believes in you can truly change how you see yourself and your potential. It's a lesson I carry with me every day. As I stand here today, I am reminded of how fortunate I am to have such an incredible support. My parents shaped who I am. One taught me the value of hard work, and the other instilled in me the courage to face my fears. Thank you both for everything that you've done. I would also like to thank my brothers and my sister for always being there and believing in me. My grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Your support has been invaluable. And to my girlfriend, thank you for being here tonight. Your presence means the world to me. Thank you very much. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my coaches. Your guidance and unique coaching styles helped shape my experience. Coach Laddick, your humor and ability to lighten the mood during all of our practices and competitions kept me grounded, while Coach Patinato, your calm demeanor always brought me back to center. Both of you believed in me, and for that I'm very grateful. Thank you. Finally, I want to thank South Fayette. Growing up here has been such a wonderful experience. The community is filled with kindness and support, and the teachers genuinely care about their students. A South Fayette education is something to be proud of. Just to take a look around and look how this school's campus is beautiful. So many great people. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Our next Hall of Fame inductee is Mr. Andrew DiDonato, class of 2006. Andrew became a record-setting quarterback at Grove City College, where he started 40 games and set school records for 7,509 career passing yards, 750 completions, and 49 touchdown passes. He also earned the College Sportsman of the Year award and played basketball, helping Grove City win a conference title. After earning degrees in business management and exercise science, Andrew began coaching at the University of Buffalo, Peters Township High School, and of course here at South Fayette, where he led the offense to 2 state titles. In 2015, he returned to Grove City as offensive coordinator and is now in his 9th season as the head coach. He has transformed the football program, earning 2 President's Athletic Conference Coach of the Year awards and leading the team to its first ever NCAA Division III playoff berth in 2023. Under his leadership, the Wolverines have posted a 44-12 record over 5 seasons, winning 4 consecutive ECAC bowl games. Andrew lives in Pine Township with his wife Andrea and their 2 children. Congratulations and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Andrew DiDonato.
Don't think more of yourself. Don't think less of yourself. Think of yourself less. That is one of the most common used phrases in our football program. It's from a book by Tim Keller, where he talks about that joy and freedom in this life come in those moments of self-forgetfulness, when you think of yourself less. The reason I share that is because when I present a lesson like that to our football team, not a week goes by where a story about South Fayette goes with it. And I use that phrase tonight because I was reflected on my family, my coaches, and the people that have impacted me here. I thought about a lesson for each, but it really all comes back to that phrase. Don't think more of yourself, don't think less of yourself, think of yourself less. So in the few minutes I have, I'd like to acknowledge a few people, but share one thing that they taught me in my time growing up or playing here at South Fayette about that phrase, and hopefully it can be an encouragement to you. Because I truly believe that I'm standing here with this amazing class, and congratulations. It's an honor to be a ball boy for one guy and to have a guy who was a ball boy for me, and Mike, who's a good friend with my brother, and reading about the rest of you. But the reason I'm up here is because of that phrase and how people in my life lived it out. It starts with my dad. To think of yourself less, he taught me it starts with priorities. In my house, it was love God, love your neighbor. Never left the house for a football or basketball game without him praying for me before I left. And we would be the last people to leave the gym or the last people to be the field because he valued people, prioritized them, and talked to them, wanted to know them. And when I played football here and basketball, he would walk in before every game and pray with me and my teammates, reminding us that we were about to take the field and it wasn't about us. My mom taught me about sacrifice. Nurse, she'd work 12-hour shifts, work through the night, wake up, or not even really just take a nap for a few hours. I'd be in camp and there she is serving us lunch. There she is serving us dinner. Going to basketball games, her and Mrs. Lobig being there at the concession stand, teaching me about sacrifice. My brothers, teaching me that if you're gonna live a life of self-forgetfulness, you gotta give people time. We're 4 years apart and they let me come around and everything, play with all the guys that I looked up to. Granted, they usually dressed me up as the all-time goalie as they would play hockey or in soccer, but I just loved being with them. My brother and I going to Arby's before every high school football game, probably not the best thing to eat, but that was our tradition. And my brother was my role model as far as an athlete. And I can tell you there was no greater joy for me than to be his ball boy on the sidelines, to be Neil before him. So when I came in and had the opportunity to play quarterback as a freshman, I had an unfair advantage because I got to see up close and personal players like Dave and Neil for 4 to 5 years prior. But they taught me, if you're going to be self-forgetful, you got to give people time. And that's what my brothers taught me. When I think about my football career here, I owe a lot to TJ Plack, because the reason I played as a freshman is he put me in the game. He knew he had Ryan Faraci blocking, so we were all right. He's here tonight. But Coach Plack, and the reason I think a lot of the football success, he always made it about the team. That individual success would only come from team success. And I remember in a local news station doing an interview with him prior to the season, and I was getting close to a few records, and he said Andrew cares more about the team success than individual. And I remember that whole year, and I still remember to this day, wanting to live up to those kind words. And he taught me that if you're going to be self-forgetful, you better make it about the team. Coach Benor in basketball, you always got to have your teammates back. Shell drill every single day. And he always taught us that when your teammate's on that side and he has your back to you, you better get underneath that hoop, because if he gets beat, he's going to expect you there. And I think about going and playing my senior year at Grove City after not playing for 4 years, and the reason I got on the court was defense. And I said, well, I played for Coach Benor and Coach Keenan. But if you're going to be self-forgetful, you better have someone's back. And I truly believe it's those lessons that allowed me to be standing before you today. But South Fayette, it carried with me that much more when I left here, just as much as when I played here. My first coaching job at the University of Buffalo, I got to work under Coach Spieler, who now is the head football coach here doing amazing things. He taught me about preparation and what it takes from a preparation standpoint to be a coach. And then I come back to South Fayette and get to work under Joe Rossi. I got to be here for the 2 state championships. And Joe Rossi taught me, if you're going to be self-forgetful, you got to know your people. He always pressed the right buttons of what we needed. But I'll never forget when he called me. I was in my kitchen the night before I called my first game and said, Andrew, you better not be looking down at a sheet. You better have those eyes up and out and see what's going on. He was teaching me, you better know your people. And I worked alongside Ryan Faraci, both coaching, and he taught me the same thing in medical sales during those same times. So I think about all these people and the lessons I learned, it always comes back to self-forgetfulness. And really, my wife and I, when we got married in 2012, the next month I started coaching at South Fayette, and she was here. And she taught me, and my wife's a godly woman, and she reminds me every day, if you're going to be self-forgetful, coaching needs to be a ministry. And she encouraged me to do the character coach program here, which Coach let us do, teaching character lessons, and reminds me every day that my job at Grove City is to not get my fulfillment from football, but bring it every day to football. And she taught me about that. And I think South Fayette, how much it impacts me, I'll just close with this last story, and the last 2 people, Gabby and Danny, that I want to talk about, my kids. In 2013, we played for the state championship, and a guy named Kevin Elko, Joe Rossi, had him come in, spoke a message to our team, and he said, guys, this is special. You're playing for a state championship. He shared 5 words that day that changed my life. He said this: be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. Life is too short. Every moment, have your mind and heart where your feet are planted. And I can tell you what, this past Saturday, we had our night football game and a lot going on, a lot of recruits up. But my daughter had a dance thing, and my son asked me if I'd go play tackle with him before I had to go up to a recruiting meeting. And the first thing that popped into my head was be where your feet are. It's not about being coach or recruiter right now, Andrew. It's about being dad. I learned that lesson right here at South Fayette. So when I think about this honor and I think about tradition, pride, and excellence, and so thankful, Coach Keener, everybody here, the administration, everything at South Fayette, this amazing class, it taught me that if you're going to achieve anything, you better think of selfless, and you got to have people in your life that think of selfless. And here at South Fayette, I was surrounded by them, and I'm so thankful and so honored to be a part of this special class. Thank you.
Our next inductee is Michael Greer, class of 2001. Michael discovered his love for musical theater at South Fayette, performing in 4 spring musicals and Fayette Follies. He earned a BFA in musical theater from Point Park University in 2005 and has been performing professionally ever since. Michael has performed at Pittsburgh theaters, including Pittsburgh CLO, where he has appeared in over 35 productions, as well as regional theaters across the U.S. and Canada. Some of his favorite roles include Gaston in Beauty and the Beast and the Big Bad Wolf in Shrek the Musical. I think there's a mistake here, because it should say his favorite role ever was when he was in the first ever boy band called Crush on B94 back in the day with John Dave Bubba Shelley, when we sent them to Florida and created Pittsburgh's first boy band. I'll make the correction and add that to his favorite list. In addition to performing, Michael has been a teacher for over 15 years and has directed and choreographed high school musicals at West Allegheny and Quaker Valley. He has also worked as an associate choreographer on productions like A Christmas Story and Shrek the Musical. During the pandemic, he transitioned to financial services, becoming a successful financial advisor at New York Life, where he earned Agent of the Year and Chairman's Council honors in 2024. Congratulations, and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Michael Greer.
I knew he would do that. I never knew your real name until tonight. That's wild. And actually, tomorrow night at the football game, you're in for a treat because Crush will be singing the national anthem. I'm kidding. It's not true. Don't spread rumors. Wow. What a special night. It is amazing to be back here at South Fayette. Thank you so much to the administration in South Fayette. This is an incredible honor, and I'm humbled to be here. Also, along everyone here is being inducted. I'm honored to be on the stage with you, so thank you guys as well. Wow, South Fayette. I could sit up here all night and talk about South Fayette. I had an amazing time here. I met incredible friends, but more importantly, I had an incredible education, which helped shape me into the man I am today. Incredible teachers, who just started out as teachers, who ultimately became mentors, and then friends. It's actually not weird in my world. If I'm doing a show, some cast members will come up to me and say, hey Mike, let's grab a drink after the show. And I'll say, you know what, sorry, I'm actually meeting my preschool teacher for dinner after the show tonight. And that's actually a true thing. Judy Morelli, my South Fayette preschool teacher, still comes and sees every single one of my shows. She's been at all 35 of those. She still comes and supports me to this day, as do so many teachers who have now become my friends. Nicole Marchinsky in this room tonight was my English teacher. And I will tell you this, there was a very select few of us as juniors in high school that were actually invited to her wedding. Yes, Dave DiNato in the house tonight was one of those people. We were on the guest list. We still talk about it to this day. But no, she's a wonderful person as well, and I'm honored to call her a friend. She's still teaching here at the school. You know, and these are two of many. Kevin Maurer, not that Kevin Maurer, though I love that Kevin Maurer. His dad, Kevin Maurer, kind of started my career. It was 9th grade, and Kevin Maurer said, you know what, Mike? You know, you're great in chorus, you're singing, you're doing well. You're pretty funny. Why don't you audition for the musical? And I was like, never done a musical, but why not? So I auditioned for the musical, and I took my first star turn as Knockham the Beggar in Fiddler on the Roof. I had 2 lines. I still remember them. I won't do them for you tonight. But I got into the musicals, and met Mrs. Mary Ann Mackey, who was my director, mentor, and I had an incredible time, and it really helped me discover my love of theater. And I never would have thought, that one comment from one of my, South Fayette teachers would have led to a 23-year career in musical theater. And I still get to do it to this day. It's something I love, and that really started here at South Fayette. Not on this stage, and I'm not bitter about that at all. They decided to wait to build this beautiful auditorium until after I graduated. So 2 years I would have caught it, but it's honestly a close second getting to stand up here tonight and be honored. This is a really cool event. I'll keep it brief. South Fayette was a very special place for me, and I think I will sum South Fayette up by this. I lost my mom my senior year of high school, and to this day that's still the worst thing that I'll ever go through. But there was not one person in my graduating class that wasn't at her funeral when I needed them most. And there also wasn't one teacher of mine that wasn't there for me as well. And I think that speaks volumes to what South Fayette is and the type of people that you're with here who are teaching you and educating you. So I will never forget that, and I love South Fayette for that. And this is an honor, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Our next inductee, Mr. Neil Lobig, graduated from South Fayette in 2000. Neil made a significant impact in football and basketball at South Fayette High School, earning first-team All-State honors and setting the #2 WPIAL all-time passing record with 5,553 yards and 65 touchdowns. In basketball, he was a 3-year starter and first-team all-conference player. Contributing to a conference championship, he was named the 1999-2000 Almanac Player of the Year. At Duquesne University, Neil was a 4-year starting quarterback, earning first-team all-conference honors 4 times and leading the team to 4 conference titles and a national championship. He amassed 10,359 passing yards, 103 touchdowns, and set multiple school records. In 2016, he was inducted into the Duquesne University Sports Hall of Fame. Post-college, Neil became an assistant coach at Duquesne, contributing to 3 more conference titles, and was recognized as Nike Coach of the Year clinic speaker. He also pursued a career in education and was named Middle School Teacher of the Year for 2021-2022. Congratulations, and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Neil Lobig.
I am a teacher right now, and I was a football coach for the majority of my adult life. So speaking in front of a big group of people was never a bother for me. But the thing is, as a coach, you're usually speaking about a group. As a teacher, you're usually speaking to a group, and you're never speaking something about yourself. So I was, like Nick, a little bit worried about this speech tonight, but I will get through it. I was looking through the pamphlet, and we have a group of men that's from 1960 all the way to 2011. So we have 51 years worth of men on this stage that it is an honor to be up here with you guys. I want to thank the administration for choosing me to be part of the Hall of Fame group this year. It is a great honor. And what it really did for me is made me think back. I actually got a text message from a good friend of mine a few days ago who is new to South Fayette. He's been here about 6 or 7 years. And he sent me the bio of myself with my picture, and he said, excuse my language, Mr. DiNardo, but he said, "You humble son of a bitch." And he said, "You never talked about yourself in that way. You've never talked about your accomplishments," and it just was never about that. I was driving over here in the car with my son, and a funny story, he's reading my bio for the first time, and he's saying all my accomplishments, and the one thing that he pointed out is he said, "Dad, you only ran for 2 touchdown passes." And I'm like, "Buddy, after all that stuff that you just read, the one thing that you had to point out was that I only ran for 2 touchdown passes." Unfortunately, myself and Christian and Brett, Andrew's a little bit more athletic than us. We weren't the best runners, but we could throw the football a little bit. But it made me think about, how was I able to do all of these things? You know, how was I able to become a team captain? How was I able to throw for so many yards and win so many games? And it came down to, it wasn't about me. I think probably everybody in this room knows you can't accomplish anything on your own, and you need so many people to make these things happen. I graduated from South Fayette 24 years ago. If you think about that, I've been alive longer not being at South Fayette than when I was there. So I listen to some of these guys talk, and they can remember so much. And I struggle at times to think back on what I did at South Fayette and what it was like here, because I'm so inundated in my kids' lives and what they're doing that I very rarely think about myself and what I've done. So it was nice to be able to hear some of the things that I've done and think about the people that were involved with my life at the time. So I think back at my teammates. Back then, I graduated with 99 kids in my graduating class. So Dr. Miller talks about where we're at now. This is completely new to me. 99 kids, so when I talk about certain players, Coach Plack would probably remember their names, Coach Bedore would remember their names, Eric Bott, multi-sport athlete. He was one of the best football players and basketball players. Brian Smozinski was a phenomenal athlete. Bill Boderoff and Nick Piatricatello, these are probably people that most of us have never heard from, but they were there, and they were just as big a part as winning championships. Eric Bott catching touchdown passes. Dave DiNardo, who's here tonight, Andrew's brother, had to sacrifice not playing quarterback for many years, but he was a phenomenal receiver. He made a lot of great plays for me. Brian Smozinski bailed me out of a lot of really bad passes, and I wouldn't have been able to do all of those things on the football field if it wasn't for those guys. I remember Bill Boderoff was a fullback linebacker for us. His senior year, they asked him to move the offensive line, and Bill did not want to play offensive line, but he did it. He's made that sacrifice, and I think about, if he doesn't make that sacrifice, I probably don't have the career that I did as a football player without him blocking up front. I look at our basketball team and what Coach Bedore was able to do, and Coach Farkas and Eric Bott. I come along and was able to be a good basketball player. And he never took a back seat to me, but he probably could have scored 35 points a game. But he was able to sit back a little bit and let me play with me, and we were able to be, I believe we were 12-0 Coach Bedore that year and 24-2 overall. So it was a good moment for me, good moment for our team. So all of those players that I was able to be around here at South Fayette, because I'm inducted into the Hall of Fame, it allows me to start remembering them and these guys that I've been around. So then I start thinking about these coaches that I've been around. Coach Bedore was my head basketball coach for 2 years. Coach Farkas was there. I remember doing Midnight Madness, Coach Bedore, and being overnight and starting the year off. I remember cutting down the nets when we beat Wash High in front of what we believed was a huge crowd, but that was at the middle school gym now. That was a lot smaller than what we have here at the high school. And those guys were so supportive of me and our team, and it was such a tight-knit community. Coach Babish started my career. I remember him driving me down to New Jersey for a football camp, and he was my head football coach. Coach Matty took over after that. I remember him allowing me to call some plays my senior year. He trusted me with that. So I'll always be indebted to them and what they were able to do. Coach Plack, it's great that he's here tonight. I just have a story about him, and I was going to tell whether he's here tonight or not. But I don't know if you remember Coach Plack. We played Fort Cherry my senior year, and I thought I was pretty good. Brian Smozinski was running seam routes down the middle of the field, and our big thing was to get the ball to the outside. I came to the sideline. Coach Plack was like, next time we run this play, Brian's wide open down the middle of the field. I didn't listen to him. I threw it down the sideline. I threw a pick. Should have listened to him. He was exactly right. But I'll never just forget that moment of being here at South Fayette with Coach Plack and him telling me that. And I know he went on to have a good career here as the head coach at South Fayette. He's now out at Peters, which is where my kids now go. So without coaches, we all wouldn't be up here today. Obviously, I think we are all probably most thankful for our families. My dad has taught me from a very young age, and it's funny because I still told my players when I coach, I still tell my students in school and their high school age kids, so I can get away with it a little bit, is never half-ass it. That was always what he said to me. If you're going to do something, you better make sure you do it to the best of your ability, and that sticks with me to this day. So I'm so thankful for him and the way he pushed me when I was younger and the support that I have from him. My mom is the sweetest, nicest person that you'll ever meet. I was talking to Mrs. DiDonato, Andrew's mom, before this, but she is also the toughest woman you will ever meet. And I think I get some of that toughness from her, not from my dad. So Mom, thank you for always being there, being tough, driving me around is very much appreciated. I also think about family friends. I mean, it's amazing. Mr. DiDonato is here tonight. He married me and my wife. That's how small of a community this used to be. And I'm sure it's still tight-knit, but I remember sleeping over his house for a few nights because he wanted me to stay at a baseball tournament when I was younger and my parents went on vacation. So families like that were ridiculously supportive back then, and I'm sure they still are now. I was just grateful to be a part of it. I was very thankful to get this honor because it made me remember my past and where I came from and the things that I was able to accomplish. And I'm glad that my son is here to be able to hear Andrew DiDonato talk about being selfless. I think that's a phenomenal lesson for you right now, buddy, so I hope you were really listening. Berkeley, I'm glad you're here as well. You are the very selfless person like Andrew's talking about, so I love you to death. To my wife, when I met her, I was a coach. She was there by my side, as all of the coaches in the room know how much time we put into as a coach. She never questioned, she never asked, she was always very supportive, so I very much appreciate her and everything she's been through with me. It's just a great honor to be up here, so thank you guys, I've been very much appreciated.
Dr. Frank Thomas Slovic, class of 1969, is our next inductee. Frank was a standout student athlete at South Fayette, earning varsity letters in football, wrestling, golf, and track. He led his football team to the WPIAL Class B championship game as starting quarterback and was active in the Key Club and National Honor Society. Graduating fourth in his class, he attended the University of Pennsylvania, excelling academically and earning Phi Beta Kappa honors. After graduating summa cum laude, Frank pursued medicine at Penn, specializing in internal medicine and later hematology and oncology. He became a board-certified physician, caring for cancer patients for over 25 years with a focus on leukemia and blood diseases. He served as medical director of the blood cancer program and co-founded the stem cell transplantation program in Kansas City. Throughout his career, Frank held leadership roles with Kansas City Hospice and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Recently retired, he now enjoys traveling with his wife, spending time with family, and volunteering. Frank credits his success to the foundation laid by his South Fayette teachers and coaches. Congratulations and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Dr. Frank Thomas Slovic.
congratulations also to all of the other inductees into the Hall of Fame. I just have a few words to say, really. South Fayette's come a long way since 1969. I was a starting quarterback for the junior high team in 9th grade, and then I played some in 10th grade, started junior and senior year. Probably never threw more than 10 passes in a game, so things have come a long ways. There are a few people I'd like to acknowledge here. The first one, actually, I don't think is here, but Elaine Gray, who was a classmate of mine from 1963 through 69, is the person who contacted me in June and requested that I consider being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I really wasn't aware that South Fayette had a Hall of Fame, so I'd like to thank Elaine for nominating me and the selection committee and the administration for deciding that I was worthy of this honor. Probably the most important people I'd like to thank are the faculty and staff here at South Fayette. Without the teachers that I had, really would not have had the foundation that was necessary for me to excel in my career after high school. I'd also like to thank my coaches, particularly Coach Basil, Coach Mott, and Coach Bordeaux. Mott was my 9th grade coach, and he was the guy that decided I didn't need to play center anymore and that I should be the quarterback. And then Coach Basil was my coach sophomore and junior year before I became principal, and Mott was my coach senior year. Bordeaux was a wrestling coach, and he was one of the toughest guys I ever met in my life. All three of those coaches, I think, instilled in me the importance of hard work, putting the team first, setting a goal and trying to keep your eye on the prize. So I thank all of my coaches. In particular, Mott and Basil decided I was going to be the quarterback of the team, and I'm sure all the other people here realize when you're a quarterback, you sort of have to take a leadership role. And as an introverted, shy guy, it's not easy for me to become the leader of the team. But later in my life, I think developing those leadership skills was incredibly important. I can't tell you the number of times I was involved with the care of a patient who had some very complex problem, multiple specialists and subspecialists involved, oftentimes people with very strong personalities. And somebody had to take charge and sort of make sure the patient was getting the right care. And having been a quarterback in high school, I was willing to step up and make sure that things were taken care of and the little details were not looked past. I'd like to thank my wife, Susan. We've been together now for 48 years. Everybody thinks that being a doctor is a great job. It's really not. There's a lot of hard work involved, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of pressure, a lot of time you can't spend with your kids and your wife. And the fact that she's a doctor made it a little bit easier for us to understand what the other one is going through. My son Greg is here with his 2 kids. I appreciate them coming in from New York today to visit. I have 3 great kids and 3 grandkids, and it's great to be able to spend more time with them. I also want to thank my sister Patty, who's here. She's a high school, South Fayette graduate. I've got 2 other siblings who are not here, but they are also high school graduates. And the last person I want to acknowledge is my good friend Mike Rogel. Mike and I met first week of medical school, and we became very good friends because Mike wasn't going to have it any other way. I think I was sitting in the front row of a lecture hall reading a newspaper, and he happened to notice I was reading about the Steelers. That was back when the Steelers were a good team in '73. So Mike and I stayed friends through medical school. He was my best man. He's probably taken care of at least a dozen of my family members over the years. And I had the honor of being able to attend his induction into the Western Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame about 5 years ago. He's been an orthopedic surgeon to the Stars. He was the orthopedic surgeon for the Pitt Panthers, Penn Hills, and a number of other high schools out in eastern Allegheny County. So I appreciate Mike being here, and again, congratulations to all the inductees, and go Lions!
Our final 2024 Hall of Fame class inductee is Gerald Zeman, class of 1960. Gerald Zeman, a native of Morgan, PA, earned a full athletic scholarship to the University of Arizona as a member of the South Fayette Lions football team. As a Wildcat, he was the only freshman to play on the varsity team and continued for 4 years, serving as the team captain from 1961 to 1963. In his senior year, he was named second team All-WAC and WAC All-American and the team's MVP. After college, Gerald became the head football coach and teacher at Sunnyside High School in Tucson for 5 years. Upon receiving medical advice to move to a cooler climate, he returned to Pittsburgh, teaching and coaching at Chartiers Valley before moving to South Fayette, where he stayed until retiring in 1999. Now he and his wife enjoy traveling and spending time with their three children, 13 grandchildren, and their families. Congratulations, and a big round of applause to Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Gerald Zeman.
The first person I would like to thank is my wife, Carol. You know, as a coach and a teacher, you're away from home an awful lot, and she's the glue that held the family together. Having 3 children and father that was out doing his thing, coaching and teaching. Mine is going to be the briefest, so I want to congratulate all the people who are honored tonight. I am honored and pleased to be an educated representative of South Fayette as a player, also as a teacher and a coach. Hired in 1978 by South Fayette, I'm proud to have served the best school in the WPIAL in reference to academics and athletics. Now this can only be possible with great leadership by the administration in the hiring of great teachers and coaches. Thank you, South Fayette. I retired in 1999 from South Fayette. My family were supporters of this district for many years. I humbly accept this honor, Hall of Fame honor. Thank you.
At this time, I want to congratulate and a big round of applause for all of our inductees tonight. And now I'd like to welcome Mark Peter back to the podium.
I'd like to thank Bubba for emceeing tonight's event. We are appreciative of his continued support of the district and our South Fayette community. We always appreciate his willingness to share his many talents. I would ask you personally that you join me in one final recognition of the class of 2024 South Fayette Hall of Fame. I want to thank you for attending tonight and congratulations to our inductees. We encourage you all to nominate other South Fayette alumni for the class of 2025 Hall of Fame. On the back of the program, there is a QR code if you have anyone in mind you'd like to recognize. Feel free to stay as long as you want. You want to get some pictures up here. Make sure you come out tomorrow and support our football team as we battle of two undefeated teams. So come out and watch the football team, watch the Little Green Machine, and we will have our honorees will be honored tomorrow as well before the football game. Around 6:45 on the field, so if you're trying to make it out. So thank you so much for coming. Please drive safe. Spend as much time as you want. Enjoy it. Enjoy each other. Get as many pictures as you want. Thank you so much.